Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. In a world where action
Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network, for the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews. Press 1.
Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the schmoes know, this is Guilty Movie Pleasures. In-depth discussion on movies, no matter how guilty they make you feel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what is up, Guilty Movie Pleasure fans? How's everybody doing this week? You can't respond, so that's just that's a rhetorical question. This week, we are very excited because Cameron and I haven't done a Jason Statham movie yet.
No.
And let's just face it, Jason Statham is about as fucking guilty as it fucking gets. Now, this is a PG-13 movie, so he doesn't swear like Chev Chelios.
I think that a skinny Jason Statham is even guiltier.
I think so too, because this is before we got, the entire rest of the podcast, I'm just gonna fucking talk like this. Just kidding, I'm gonna talk like myself. I'm your host, Ben Begley, and with me as always...
Cameron Louis, hey, what's going on, everybody?
I waited till you took a sip of your soda. I was like, haha, choke. You're a pro, though. You did it. Now,
I can talk with the liquid in my mouth.
Just do it.
Anyways, and Guilty Movie Guys on Twitter.
Yeah, we have a Twitter account now. Some 43 of you know about it. It's at Guilty Movie Guys.
What do you have to tell them the number for?
It makes it so much, because then I shame them I guilt them into following us. You can follow on there. That's where we're doing a lot of our conversating about guilty movies throughout the week. You can make suggestions there, all that good stuff. Also, we've been getting a few tweets of ideas, and we're starting to take that into account.
God.
Transporter was one of several suggestions from last week, and so we took this into account because I am a huge Jason Statham fan. I actually have my movies organized by genre.
I was going to say by Statham?
Oh, it gets better, yeah, by genre, and then in action, there's a category organized by action hero.
You're kidding me.
So, I have, just normal action sci-fi, but then I have Stallone, Statham, and Schwarzenegger movies, and I have Willis, and Van Damme. Those are the four guys that I separate from everybody else.
That is
because
excellent.
They are a cut above the rest.
Yes.
So I literally have a section of Statham and Schwarzenegger.
How
and
much
Stallone.
real estate does this take up in your house?
A big closet that I've had to put stuff into binders. I've had to put back stock into binders because I own over 3,000 movies. It's gross.
Jeez.
It's an addiction.
God.
It's a problem.
Do you have insurance on those things?
Yeah, of course. You got to. I have videos of everything and I have catalogs. So
Do you really?
Yeah, because you have to. Because otherwise they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm sure you had 3,000 movies and they got stolen. And I'm like, no, guys, seriously, I had 3,000.
Burn the tapes.
But DVDs aren't worth anything anymore. That's the thing.
I know.
Nobody gives a shit. Unless you got some really old school horror film that was out of print and the special unaltered edition or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're getting very off track here, but that's
by
fine.
the way, I do recommend watching The Transporter on
Yes.
DVD.
Yes.
And not Blu-ray.
Why do you recommend that? Because it looks extra.
So much better on DVD.
You think so?
Oh my lord.
Are you being facetious here?
No, I'm not. I'm being 100% serious because the imperfections are kind of blurred over.
Yeah, you're right. I could see that because
Keeps me in it.
some movies get a little shittier on Blu-ray.
Yeah, and it's not shitty in Blu-ray.
No,
but
it just brings up
some things are noticeable and
The Wizard of Oz
sourcey
is one of the greatest movies of all time. But The Wizard of Oz on Blu-ray, you can tell everything's flapping in the wind and it's just backdrops.
Yeah,
it just ruins the mystique. Yeah, ruins the mystique. This movie
Absolutely.
though, when did this come out? This was
2002.
2003. It says maybe that was the DVD. But 2002 was the theatrical release of this. This is written, though, by one of my favorite filmmakers of all time, Luc Besson.
Yes.
Come on, The Professional.
Yes.
Is one of my favorite movies
Fifth
ever.
Element, right?
Fifth Element.
Yeah, I love The Fifth Element.
Big Blue. All those movies. He's done and he always Lucy. I feel like Luc Besson.
Lucy.
It was okay.
Oh yeah.
It was okay. It was like the action version of Under the Skin. They were the exact same movie with ScarJo in both.
Yeah.
I feel like Luc Besson always writes really fun movies, but half researches the topics that he's doing. The Professional, one of my favorite movies of all time, but clearly has no idea how the DEA works and how you can't really cover up crimes that easily if you're Gary Oldman's character. And in this, pretty sure like the inner workings of French police in Luc Besson's movies always look like idiots. In the Taxi quadrilogy, there's 4 of them now, and in every Transporter movie, the French police are buffoons.
They are imbeciles.
Yeah, I mean they can't even the whole car chase in the beginning. They just come off as like Keystone Cop morons.
Yeah,
Like,
and they drive like Chevy Aveos.
yeah, it's just how do you catch anyone in those cars?
I don't know.
It's embarrassing.
I'm a fan of that style of riding though, because
Yes.
that's the only kind I know how to do. I'm not gonna research.
Who fucking
Are
researches?
you kidding me?
No way.
This is exactly how a gun
This
works.
is how. Yeah, I mean the
How
cops.
does one get this disease?
Exactly.
This is how.
There was about 95 cops following him in the beginning, and they all saw his face because he's not wearing a mask, and he's friends with the inspector. Then he goes down to the police station, but none of the cops recognize him.
That's right.
That's how police work happens.
That's all I'm
right?
saying.
That's just how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I was gonna say that's how police work works, and that's why I paused because I was like, that just sounds. The syntax of that sounds incorrect.
That's how you work the work
That's how I work the work.
Yeah.
So when did you first see Transporter?
in theaters.
In theaters,
Saw it in
yeah.
theaters.
I did too.
I saw it.
I saw all 3 in theaters. I didn't see
did
the
too.
I didn't
Yeah,
see
yeah.
the 4th one.
No.
I wanted to rent it at Redbox because I feel like it's worth $1, but it's no Statham.
No.
No Statham.
I'm not gonna. I have to be honest. I'm not really interested.
I don't, yeah,
I just want Statham.
There's a TV series of it too
Yeah.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
There's 2 stars. That's not boding well for it. You know,
This pretty high.
2 stars for a spin-off of a.
I'm usually my standard's
quadrilogy.
usually a half star.
Yeah, there you
so
go.
It's pretty high.
There you go. So you watch a lot of the Asylum pictures, like Transmorphers.
Every single one of them. All of the C-level Purge
Yep.
spinoffs. I really liked this in theaters when I saw
It
it.
was a blast. Well, because
I
this was
was
the
12.
first time I remember seeing Jason. Every time you say how old you were, it bugs the shit out of me.
No, this is the first time I saw Jason Statham in anything.
I remember him in Snatch and Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels before this, and he was kind of just he was just sort of more the guy who's like, hey, I'm a thug, and I'm not really gonna do anything, but I'm just gonna be kind of snarky and funny. But this was the first time I remember him kicking ass and being like, holy shit, the kind of nebbish, smarmy guy from Snatch is a badass.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I think this has one of the most iconic fight sequences I've ever seen, and I know that's crazy to say. But dare I
Transporter
say,
you're talking about?
yeah, dare
Yeah.
I say the oil slick scene
Oh my God.
is one of the most iconic because I'll be on my deathbed and be like, that was a pretty fun sequence. Because just
Fun as hell.
I'll never forget him kicking the bike pedals off, hooking them in, and then basically like tap dance tiptoeing around
Yes.
it, and then just roundhouse kicking everybody.
Every single person with noises like the entire
Just
time.
such weird noises.
Yeah.
And everybody trying to grab onto him and like.
It's ingenious if you really think about it.
Yeah,
The
it's-
only thing that may have been better would be petroleum jelly. I do think I have a very fond memory of this movie.
Yeah?
When I saw it in theaters, I saw it with my dad and my grandpa. And my grandpa never watched a movie next to somebody who was more enamored with what was happening on the screen. I was so freaking
I love
happy.
that
My
your
grandpa's
grandpa
a car
was.
guy.
I love that he was just so stoked on this
He's
movie.
just like, oh. And he's somebody who, when he watches a movie, he reacts verbally.
Oh, yeah.
And so the entire time he's like, go, yeah, go, oil, yeah, oh. And I'm just like, yes. I remember
it's
that
great,
so vividly.
great for movies like this.
Oh, it's amazing.
Terrible for movies like The Danish Girl. Don't.
My dad is very guilty of that. Hey, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh yeah. I don't mind during action movies when people talk. I don't mind when like these kind of things. I'll sit there in the theater and be like, oh yeah, like I'm that guy. But when it's like a drama or something, or like I'm gonna see 10 Cloverfield Lane tonight, it's like if somebody's in there talking, I'm like, this is a film. This is shut your mouth.
The worst time I ever witnessed that was Midnight in Paris.
Oh no.
I made the mistake of seeing it with, I'll say it, a bunch of geriatrics in the theater. And every single time they changed city in Midnight in Paris, even though because there are a couple cities.
It's magical. Yeah.
They'll go, they are in people and all the historical figures. Every single time in the background, people behind me, I hear them go, no, that's what you get with a night in Paris. And
What?
Like, oh, there's Picasso. Yep, that's Picasso, sweetheart. I remember him. It's like, oh my God, people.
You don't remember Picasso? You weren't alive when
Yeah.
Picasso. Maybe.
That's what I mean. Well,
Maybe.
it's possible.
Depends how old they are.
Yeah.
For me, my wife and I just saw Whiskey Tango Foxtrot the other week, and there was It was a Sunday night at like 4.
Yeah.
And there was this sweet old couple next to us, but man, the whole time she just reacted. She'd be like, oh no. Oh, she's gonna do it. Oh, that's terrible. And it's just like when you're invested in a moment, and then you hear somebody commenting on it, even if it's how you're feeling, you're like, shut up. And then she did the thing with the like unwrapping a cough drop.
No. It takes you out because you get glued to the screen.
Yep. And then
you
it
go,
just-
I'm there. And then all of a sudden somebody's like, hey, Gerald, pass the raisins. And you're like,
Why are you eating
Jesus.
raisins?
who brings raisins?
Who brings not even raisinets?
No, just regular sun-made raisins.
Back to Transporter, though.
Transporter.
So I've seen, I own all 3 Transporter films, even though I don't really like the third one. I think it's kind of boring.
I think the
but
second one's my favorite.
second one's my favorite
Yeah.
but we had to do the first one because the first one
Yeah.
is like that the intro to what is now a staple for every January. You get a moderately shitty / awesome Jason Statham movie in
Yes.
theaters every January. Shitty when it's something like Parker, awesome when it's something like Safe,
Yeah.
even though it was a terrible film. So fun when he takes on like 3 gangs in the end of the movie. And then you get stuff like Homebound or what was that one? Homeland, not Homeland, that's the Carrie, you'll figure it out. Homefront.
Homefront.
That was okay.
Is
That was not very good.
But did you like him in the Fast movies?
Oh yeah.
Fast one?
Oh yeah.
he was
Come
great.
on, we got to do a Fast and Furious on this.
Oh yeah.
But Transporter for me, this is the intro to Jason Statham, who is now one of the most iconic action stars there is, because he's a badass, he's funny, he's a pretty good actor too. He's not as stiff as like the 90s guy. He is stiff, but he has a personality to him.
Something relatable to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. And he's British, so he just sounds cooler, because
Yeah.
everybody who has a British accent sounds cooler, and that pisses me off.
Yeah.
But before we get too off the rails, as if that hadn't happened already, we're going to do the plot in 3 minutes. So here goes. In 5, 4, 3, 2, take it away.
Jason Statham is sitting in his car. He has to do a drive. These guys rob at a bank.
Oh, yeah.
Come out, rob a bank, right?
Yeah, and they come out and give the longest
give him
speech
into the car,
ever.
longest speech, and he's sitting there talking about rules. He said, "We had a deal. You have 3.
We don't want a
4 people,
cop
not
chase,
3
but I'm going to give you
people."
a 3-minute monologue.
Yeah, and so everybody's crowding around the car. So he ends up having to shoot one of the guys.
Oh, yeah.
They get away. They get to the destination. He delivers the package, and they say, "Hey, we have one more for you." He said, "Hey, sorry, not going to do it." Bam.
Yeah, and then he drives off, and he lives in this amazing villa on the coast of France in Nice, I guess.
God.
Nice.
Nietzsche.
Yeah, and the inspector comes up, and you kind of get that the inspector, at first you're not sure if the inspector knows it's him or he's highly suspicious or if they're buddies. You're not really sure, but he talks to him for a little bit, and then he goes off and he's like, "Okay, well, I am an ex-little boy." He says some weird line like that where he's like, "I'm ex-military." You find out that he used to be in the military and all this stuff. Now he's hiding out in France. So then he gets a call, "We need a transporter."
That's
He
right.
goes,
So he goes to
does
the bar
rules
and
again.
he sees an Aaron Sorkin lookalike
Yes,
at the
he
bar.
does. He does.
And talks to them about a deal. Says
Yep.
20,000 now, 20,000
Yeah.
later. Do not change the
Yeah.
rules, the deal.
They put the duffel bag in the car.
Yes.
He starts hearing something. He finds out that it's a woman in the back.
Yes.
A Chinese woman in the back. Kui Shu. How the hell do you say her name? Shu Qi. Shu Qi. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but that's her name. She's in the back, and he kind of starts falling for her. There's this cheesy music. He's like, "Hi." She has to pee. Lying though, because then she
runs
disappears.
into
He
the
puts a
woods.
noose around her neck so she can
Idiot.
like she can't take that off.
Let her out of sight.
She disappears. He goes chasing after her.
Yes.
He finds her. He brings her back. There's 2 cops. He throws her on him, fights him for like 5 seconds. Then he drops her off, finds out it might be this like sex trafficking thing.
That's right.
They give him another package. He's like, "This is weird, but I'll take it." He
Drives
goes
to the gas
Yep.
station, picks up another
Yep.
orange soda, which I thought was a vagina joke because it was called Orangina. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Maybe.
The car explodes.
Oh, now he's pissed.
He's mad, so he goes back.
Peephole shot where he comes charging the door. He kicks the shit out of everybody.
1 minute.
And he doesn't even try and save Shu Qi at all.
No.
By any means. And if that's not how you pronounce it, I'm sorry.
Shu Qi.
But Shu Qi. He doesn't even try and save her. She just happens to be in the back seat, and she's tied to a
Yes.
chair. So I don't know if she rolled in, hopped in the car,
I don't
or if they
understand.
put her in there because they were going to get her out of there. I don't
Maybe
know.
so.
But why would they still have her in the chair? Anyway, so then he has this
45.
weird kind of like romantic relationship with her.
Yes.
And then the
She
inspector
cooks.
comes by again, and then there's like this weird rom-com stuff. And then his villa gets blown up.
By torpedo.
Oh, so he's so pissed. Then she convinces him to go talk to the bad guy, and that there's this sex trafficking or these they're bringing in Chinese slaves
Yes.
for some nefarious reason. Oh God, should I just take it home?
Her
Okay, here goes.
her dad is
Yeah.
the one in charge. His dad and the other guy whose name is Wall Street.
Yeah, Wall Street. And then what happens is, you find out that the dad's bad too, and they kidnap the girl again, and he's thrown into this bus thing, and then he fights a bunch of guys on a bus, fights a bunch of guys on a plane, he flies the plane, crashes on top, fights a bunch of guys on top of a truck, then he's racing in the truck, and then he kills everybody, shoots him, dead, and then they hug, and then there's everybody's freed.
And somewhere there's an oil fight.
Good God, we didn't even get to any of the action in the end there. I got so bogged down in the details.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on for something that doesn't have a lot going on.
There's a lot of driving and things going on for not a lot of driving and nothing happening.
Yeah, that's the one thing we talked about before the show, though, is that bummed me out watching it again, because I remember the other ones, specifically 2, where there's a lot more involving car chases and fun action sequence involving, and maybe I've just been spoiled by the Fast and Furious movies, where I love a good car chase. And this movie starts off with a really fun car chase.
It's a great opening. A fantastic opening.
More car chases.
Yeah.
And this guy, his
kind of one later on, but not really.
His whole job is he's a transporter, but he really only transports the bank robbers in the beginning, and then he drives kind of leisurely up the coast to a house, and then he just fights the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I think 2 got it better, where they kind of were more even. It was a better balance.
Yeah.
It does have the most ridiculous moment ever, where he has a bomb on the bottom of his car, and he launches his car and flips it upside down, and it hooks onto the crane, and then he lands perfect, and it blows up the crane.
Totally
I laughed
doable.
so hard I think I laughed harder at that than any comedy that year when Transporter 2 came out. But this one, it starts off with like we were talking about the 3-minute monologue. He's like, we don't have a lot of time. We're going to run out of time if we have extra kilos here. I didn't incorporate that into my calculations, because he's very precise about the weight limit. It's like an elevator. There's a precise weight limit in his car for the gas allotted. It's just like, fill up this fucking tank.
And apparently he changes the shocks every time?
I guess. He's like, listen, it's bad for the shocks. And so he gives this like 3-minute monologue to these guys, all while he could have been driving away before the cops show up. Yeah. And he even says, police chases are bad. And what does he do? He waits for 3 cop cars to show up, and then it's like, and I love that there's these 3 dudes in suits that just are coming up. You think they're like FBI or whatever the French equivalent of that would be, and they're just walking up, and they're like,
they're curious businessmen.
And then just really curious businessmen, all with shades on.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the car starts peeling out, they're like, oh, curious shaded businessmen.
The robbers just ran into this car. What could possibly be happening?
And I love the fact that him switching the license plate that he does a whole bunch is the key to getting away. Not that there's a scruffy-looking, bald British man, white guy driving a car with this exact model. But hey, you changed the license plate. Well, I don't know.
I also love
the French police. I don't know. How do we understand? They did not get these.
The mechanism for changing the plate is just like 3 large ass 1, 2, 3 buttons.
Yep.
Nobody's ever asked. It just looks like a radio preset. I don't know.
It's very strange. It's also borrowed from his movies Taxi, Luc Besson's Taxi.
Yeah.
They made 4 of those, and it's a very similar thing where it's this taxi driver who's kind of walking the fine line between good and bad, and then the cops bring him on because he's this great driver. So it's almost the same movie, only this is more badass because Jason's it. My favorite shot in the whole movie is the ding dong. Hey, I'm a bad guy. I'm gonna go look and see who's at the door. And then Jason Statham just running up
through the peephole,
through a peephole like a fisheye lens, kicks the door down, and the guy goes flying. Oh, that's so good. So good. And then he kicks the shit out of all. I also like the fact that he doesn't just kill everybody. He shoots most of them in the leg and wounds them. He only kills when it's necessary.
I love the fact that he doesn't kill anybody. He doesn't kill most people.
Yeah.
And then I also like how most of the action in this movie, at least the fighting and stuff, is fist fighting.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of gunfire. Occasionally there's gunfire, and there's really bad people that have really bad aim.
Yeah. And every bullet has like a tracer on it, so you can see it looks like laser beams.
Yes.
It looks like a Vietnam movie where at night, like, they had the tracers going. It's so crazy. Every bullet is very like,
yeah, all the way past. But
good.
I liked it. A lot of kicking too.
A lot of kicking. A lot of roundhouses.
Really nice.
Roundhouses for days. I love there's a part, I think it's in the house scene. there's one part where he has like 3 dudes and he just keeps kicking back and forth to all of them. He's like,
Yeah.
and just how he like twists people up in his shirt and then he
Oh,
double
the shirt
punches.
twist is
when
so
he-
good.
That's in the bus scene.
Yeah.
Where he double. I love that they just show an insert shot of the guys like, oh, we're twisted up, and then he goes, huh, and they just fall back. I'm
Do you
pretty
remember
sure,
the-
like,
where was
no
the-
matter who you are, this is not that strong of a move. I can't. I couldn't break cardboard with that. It's just you don't have enough momentum because you use your body to throw hooks, but
Yeah.
like. Imagine if at the end of Creed, you know, he's fighting the bad Irish guy or British guy, whatever, and it's like, huh, huh. You'd be like, what the fuck was that? But it's Jason Statham, so you believe.
Rocky would be pissed.
I've been swearing a lot for a PG-13 movie. I apologize, kids. Fuck it.
But you know, speaking of the shirt and stuff, there's one part in particular that I think is hilarious, and this, by the way, it's noticeably like bad choreography, but because of that, I love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's it's after the shirt thing. I think he grabs 2 guys' arms and just like twists them in himself. And there's this one shot where they show the 2 guys that are behind him that he has twisted in his arms, and then he goes and kicks somebody, and he just has like his arms touching them, and they're
remember that.
clearly fake, like struggling. They're like,
Get off of me!
but he's literally just like touching them.
You know,
so
hey,
good.
he's that badass.
He is. I mean,
Then-
it's a mental.
I
it's
love
a mental power.
in the mansion the guys that come up with axes out of nowhere.
What the fuck did the?
Where did the axes come
I
from?
don't know, but it was so good.
Oh man, and they're just throwing, and I love that. Just how he doesn't use the axe and like hack him like another movie. He just fights, just fist. He doesn't even need
No.
to steal an axe.
No.
He gets the candelabra off the wall.
That's right.
And then he blocks and twists the axe, and then I don't remember. There's so many kicks, but there's one part where he split kicks. I think he does it in that
I think
moment.
so, yeah.
If not, let's just say he does.
Sure,
He
fuck it.
split kicks him in the face, and
Yes.
it's incredible.
It's so tasty.
And you can tell that it's all, for the most part, all Statham doing these moves. It's
It
crazy.
is actually. I looked. I mean, it's always noticeable when there's a stunt
yeah.
guy doing them, but there's proof in the pudding here. On IMDb, they actually said Jason Statham did most of all of the stunts, which is awesome.
I even feel like when he jumps on top of the truck, when they
that might
show
have
that, I'm like, holy shit, that looks like
I
him.
think that might have been him. I
He's known for doing crazy stuff. I mean, the Expendables, he almost died in the last one.
That's
he
right.
was in the van that went over the bridge and went in
Yeah.
the water, and they're all like, oh shit, we just killed Jason Statham. And then like
was a stunt guy,
like a
like,
badass, he comes out, he's like, I'll just kick the window open and swam back up. You're like, what? You are all your characters. Nobody really does that, but
you-
Jason Statham does.
of course. This is
He's
why
so good.
I'm so jealous of Jason Statham.
Every man should be.
Honestly, there's so many things about this guy.
Oh,
First
man.
of all, he rocks a bald head.
Yeah, he looks awesome with a bald head.
Somehow his head is muscly, right?
Even it, yeah.
I don't understand how you do
How
that.
do you lift?
Eyebrow workouts? I don't. Yes, exactly. That's it. The accent, obviously,
Yeah, he just old die and he's gruff.
so amazing. The fact that I think he's kind of shorter,
Yeah.
but he still kicks ass. I love it.
Yeah.
Jason Statham. Did you notice in this film though? I feel like his accent was lighter than in the later ones.
Maybe. Maybe he turned up the Cockney a little
think
bit
he might
later
have.
on. I know it's not as strong as in Crank when he really just cranks on the act.
Crank is pretty insane.
We've done Crank on here. We should do Crank 2 sometime because it's one of my.
Yeah.
It's barely a movie, but it's so amazing. Here's the first thing. We have a sound clip where he goes over the rules. And this is what every action movie has to do. They have to have the hero establish the rules of the movie. They have to establish the rules of their character and their badassness and all that stuff. So we got rule number 1 right here.
Delivery will be at noon. If no one's there, it is not my responsibility. I'll leave the package. Once we make a deal, the terms of that deal cannot be changed or renegotiated.
How's the rule?
It's rule number 1.
It's weird. When I ordered a package from a seller on Amazon, it was not through Amazon directly, so they didn't really insure it or anything like that. I was dealing with the seller directly. And it said that you got to be there by noon to pick it up. And I was like, okay. Well, I was late getting home, and the package was gone. So I called, and I was like, hey, it's like 12:05. So where's the package? And they said this.
Delivery will be at noon. If no one's there, it is not my responsibility. I'll leave the package.
I know,
Once
but-
we make a deal, the terms of that deal cannot be changed
Okay, I get
or
it, but-
renegotiated.
yeah, okay,
I was
Amazon.
like, even the post office has insurance. So
Yeah.
just like, give me my money back, man. They were such dicks about it.
Can we play the clip one more time just to hear the music in the background?
Delivery will be at noon. If no one's there, it is not my responsibility. I'll leave the package. Once we make a deal, the terms of that deal cannot be changed or renegotiated. How's the rule? It's rule number 1.
I have a theory about this whole movie.
I want to hear it because I have a theory too.
Somebody just played their iPod on shuffle. And
The
just let it
music
go.
doesn't really, like, even in the action scenes, there's this one, like, rolling beat that always comes in where it's like boom, doom, boom,
Yes,
boom, boom,
and it's
boom,
literally-
boom, boom, boom.
And it's
like,
still that same,
it's just
like-
this same kind of, like, slow, like, yep, he's cool.
You know
he's
what it
cool.
is? It's 70s porn music.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that this movie, the music sounds like a French interpretation of 2002 American music. It's like when you go into a sushi bar and it's still like Bon Jovi and they're like, oh, we're halfway
Lifehouse.
there. And you're like, what? This is like 30 years old. You know, it's like, just like how we get imported other cultures stuff way late and we think super crazy shit from like France and Japan and Germany is awesome. And they're like, guys, that was like 10 years ago. Same thing with this. It feels like this music is like, oh, this is hip club music in America, right? And it's like, what is this? Which actually segues great. We'll get to rule number 2, but I want to do the silly music because this just shows what I kind of solidifies this point where it's like, this is when he first opens the trunk and sees Shu Qi for the first time. And they have this weird romantic look at each other, even though she's been in a duffel bag.
And she has duct tape on her mouth.
She looks beautiful for being in a duffel bag
Gorgeous.
for hours. Like, not sweaty, not makeup smeared, not crying from not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Barely even a crick in her neck from all that. I mean, that's some yoga pose in
She
there.
looks like she's been on a sleep number bed
Yeah,
for several
she looks
hours.
great.
Yeah.
And he unzips the bag, and this is what happens.
Hi.
I can't tell if that's an episode of Dawson's Creek, a Hallmark movie, or Jennifer Lopez rom-com where the wedding planner style. Like that,
think
there's so many. It could be all of the above.
It's like the music you hear when you go to a hospital and they have like a garden in the hospital with a little pond. You're staring at the pond and you hear this.
Hi.
You say
to
hi.
St. John's
You say hi to all
Mercy.
those fish. What are they called? The
Koi.
fish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very much so.
It's it's interesting. I really love the Shamrock Shake at McDonald's, and it's only around during St. Patty's Day. And I feel like I have kind of a romantic connection to it, not in a weird way, but just like in a nostalgia way more than anything. And I got one the other day, and I just the person behind the counter handed it to me, and I looked at that Shamrock Shake and.
Hi.
And I consumed all 7,000 calories that are in that thing.
You know, anytime I go to a third-rate shopping mall, there's always one of these.
Which is almost all shopping
which
malls
is all
outside
shopping
of big
malls.
cities.
Yes, but there's always one of these that I walk into. Ben, it's a Burlington Coat Factory.
You love
When I
Burlington
walk-
Coat
When I
Factories.
walk through the door, first of all, there's something magical about the outside. I don't know what it is. When I walk through the door, I just look around and I hear, look at the greeter. Hi. And just look at the work of a professional
You know,
hoarder.
I actually almost got, this is a true story. I almost got roped into, not that your Burlington Coat Factory wasn't true.
Sure, yeah.
I accidentally got roped into a pyramid scheme when I first moved out here. I'll refrain from saying what it was because I don't want to be, rude. But it was a pyramid scheme that involved basically doing, anybody who doesn't know what a pyramid scheme is, it's where you do a bunch of work and people above you get rich and they make you think you're eventually going to get there.
Avon.
Yeah, exactly. Or something like, or Mary Kay or something. So anyways, I go in there and it's like this everybody's high-fiving you and they want you to be very enthusiastic and involved. And this was before I met my wife, and there's this really pretty girl there and she's the one who got me into it. So it was part that. And I high-five all these really enthusiastic people, and then I swear all the energy stopped when I saw her and we looked at each other and I was just like,
Hi.
how much do I owe for this? Yeah, okay, here's $350.
You know, Ben, this may sound like a similar story, but I swear to God, this is true. Every time I go on a Tinder date, I have a
Every
button
show,
on my
I just want to say
phone.
every show involves Tinder or Burlington Coat Factory.
I do both equally
Keep going,
as much.
keep going.
Swipe right on Burlington Coat Factory. When I go on a Tinder date, I show up to the restaurant. I have this hot button on my phone. She'll come in and go, "Hey, Cameron, so nice to meet you." And I hit my phone and I go,
Hi.
This is good timing. If you stared
I just
at
keep
him,
staring
that was
at
a
him.
psychotic stare.
I just keep staring.
That was quite
It
frightening.
has worked out for me exactly
Quite
0
frightening.
times.
Exactly 0 times.
Yes.
You know, guys, every time we do a lot of shows here.
yeah.
We
Sure,
get-
yeah, of
we can have
course.
long days that go
Yeah.
by, but every time I see the Guilty Movie Pleasures team, the Guilty Movie guys roll into the theater, I just hear it play in the background.
Hi.
It's weird. You do talk like Statham.
Every person that follows us on Twitter at Guilty Movie Guys, this is exactly our response.
Hi.
And then I like that. I put a little heart on that. I feel like also it could be the start of something really motivational, like, we know your times have been really tough lately, but don't worry. It's gonna get better. Like, it just sounds like a
Can we roll it again?
self-help thing, you know?
Hi.
Find out if Life Alert is right for you.
It's like it's a bad commercial from when you stay home and you watch
During the Price is Right?
daytime TV.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man.
Call Liberty Medical.
Find out if Leterrier is right for you. Leterrier. I don't think Leterrier is real. I made
It
that up.
should be.
Oh my God. Oh, so then he says what any romantic leading man would say to a woman when she says, "I have to pee." And, you know, so we just had this very romantic kind of weird moment. Then he takes off the duct tape and she's like, "I have to pee." And then he puts the duct tape back on and she gets upset and he says,
You don't need your mouth to pee.
just out of context. Even though I set up the context, it just sounds weird. Can we say that again?
You don't need your mouth to pee.
Just like, imagine hearing that anywhere else in the world.
Gah.
You don't need your mouth to pee.
Going to a brothel in Amsterdam or something, you know, and you go into the wrong room because apparently, I've never done it, but apparently there's weird rooms in those brothels in Amsterdam, and suddenly the mistress there or whatever, I don't even know what they're called. I've never been to any of these places, and I don't watch stuff like that. But you walk in, and what is it? The mistress, the maiden,
That would be the madam.
the
Oh,
madam,
madam,
and the
yes.
madam looks at you and she just goes,
You don't need your mouth to pee.
"Oh
You know,
God,
one time
oh God, where am I going?"
one
The
time
madam.
I,
That joke would have been a lot funnier if I knew anything I thought it was talking about.
That's all right. One time I went on a Tinder date in Burlington Coat Factory, and no, I'm just kidding. I kid.
Again.
And I got a Life Alert.
Don't need your mouth to pee.
Need your mouth to pee.
So weird.
Hi. You don't need your mouth to pee.
Yes.
Oh, the supercut.
Holy crap.
The supercut.
That
Look at
is an actual conversation I've had before.
Yeah.
What? He couldn't take the tape off before shoving the knife down her throat?
Yeah, that was weird.
That was very dangerous, Jason Statham.
Just everything about that whole scene. And then the fact that they just. So we talked about how he puts a noose around her neck and she walks off. And he's just like giving her more slack. And it's like, no shit, she's going to escape. But the
Her
best
hands are free.
Exactly. But the best part is when she escapes and they're the two least interested or concerned cops ever when they come back. And I wasn't even sure they were cops. They just looked like they were snowboarders that were riding bicycles.
They did. I was like, wait.
Until later on, the inspector
Skiers
said they
came
were.
upon
Yeah, and they literally look at them like as unconcerned as possible, and then he tosses her very haphazardly on them and kicks the shit out of him in like a 4-second sequence. They're down. Find out that they're in the trunk of the car that blows up.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit.
it's very nonchalantly mentioned by the inspector. We're trying to figure out why there were 2 police officers in the back of your car that blew up. And they never mention again in the entire movie, nor is there any remorse, that 2 innocent police officers were blown up in Jason Statham's car, in Frank's car. It just, who gives a fuck?
I totally forgot about them in the trunk.
Right? Because they show it so briefly.
Damn.
There were 2 police officers. We're still trying to get the pieces back from them.
Can we talk about the inspector?
Inspector Clouseau. What is his
guy,
deal?
I don't
like,
know.
I think that they maybe met in the military, and I feel like they have a history, and they hint
do.
at it. Because otherwise, he's just the dumbest inspector on the planet. I don't think so, because he seems smarter than that. I think he knows that he breaks the law, but he's okay with it. Because, like, the bank robbers in the beginning end up getting caught. So there's a hint that he breaks the law, but he knows that the people that he helps break the law are going to get caught, maybe?
Right. Sure.
I don't know. There's a lot of moral ambiguity in Luc
There's so
Besson
much.
movies. Like,
His eyes also never move.
they never move.
Did you notice that? He's just like, there was just kind of this half open, and he's like,
Yeah, I'm
Frank.
I'm very hungover or
Have
half
you looked at the
asleep.
license plate? 2 people are dead.
That's really
Jesus.
good. That's a really good impression.
He's just
I like
dead. I totally forgot about the cops
Yeah,
in the back of
dead, blown to bits.
Damn.
They were just trying to help out a girl that, and rightfully so, 2 police should attack Jason Statham. He's carrying her like Tarzan style, like full on.
Dude, great instinct though, throwing her at the cops.
I know.
Obviously, they're not going to let her fall.
No, of course not.
I kind of wish they'd let her fall.
That would have been amazing. Oh shit! And then he goes, huh! That would have been so good. So then there's this very long. It's not actually that long, but it feels long. This romantic comedy, not even a romantic comedy, like this bad Hallmark movie build up of their relationship. And how at first he's very like, I can't think, I just need to go to bed. I need to think. And he brings her back to his place. And in the morning they have this romantic comedy monologue is what I call it, because it sounds like it could have come out of the frustrated, uptight guy who's being shaken up by Polly or, some other,
Yeah.
like, hey, you ruined my life. I was a type A personality, and then you came into it and brought all this fun and excitement and sex, and I just don't know what to do with myself. And this is what Jason Statham, I almost said Shatham Matham says to Shu Qi.
You were supposed to think last night.
Yeah, well, last night I had nightmares about a girl who came into my nice, quiet life, screwed it all up. Everything she touched broke, and every move she made turned into a catastrophe.
Okay, sorry.
I'm still wondering if I want to know everything or nothing about you.
That is, tell me that you can't switch out
God.
Drew Barrymore, anybody else.
Justin Long.
Anybody for that. Like, that could have been Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore in another terrible movie together. Sorry. She's so cute in this scene.
God.
She's so adorable. She's trying so hard. She
I
cooked a
know, I feel
breakfast.
so bad
She's
for
being
her.
so nice. Do they don't have sex? Oh no, they have sex after his place blows up. And then she just,
They swim in it, yeah.
I wouldn't go so far as to say this movie's misogynistic, but it leans heavily towards, it's misogynistic.
Pretty misogynistic.
It's pretty
and
misogynistic.
There's a lot of stereotyping going on.
Where it's just basically like, oh, you saved me, sort of, not really. I hopped in the back of your car, so you were forced to save me.
Yeah.
And then your place got blown up after you were kind of a dick to me, but because of that, we're going to have sex.
Yeah. I also think...
It's like a James Bond moment.
Very similar to James
Very
Bond.
James Bond moment. Where he just bangs every girl he comes in contact with.
Sorry. I think that that Lai, her lines...
Shu Qi's name
were
is
all-
Lai.
Yes, which is... I didn't know that was even a thing. But I think that all of her lines were Adyard, again.
I think so. She's actually, I've seen her in Chinese films. She's actually a really good actress.
She's great.
And she's good in this, but her I can't talk, because if I tried to speak Mandarin or Cantonese in a movie, I would be terrible at it.
Right.
But so you lose some of it. I wish in these movies sometimes they would just let people talk their normal,
just however they are. Yeah.
Like in Love Actually, I know that's a random movie to mention, but the fact that she talks the entire time in, oh God, it's Portuguese? No, Spanish.
No, it's Portuguese.
Portuguese, yeah.
yeah.
She speaks in Portuguese the whole time, and I get that it's a different kind of movie, but sometimes it's like, or let them talk more that way. So you can,
it's like just however you natively speak.
It drives me even
that
more
way.
insane when it's like something where they're all clearly from a different country. Or the best example of this is Enemy at the Gates, when all the Germans have American accents and all the Russians have British accents. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? That happens all the time. It's just
all
like,
the time.
Come on.
It happened. What was the War Horse? Oh my God.
Yeah, it happens constantly.
All over the place in War Horse.
And apparently, if you're in a period piece, you're British. Like if you're in Egypt, or if
matter.
you're any kind of fantastical world, British. Always
100%.
British. Anyways, but Shu Qi is so cute. Lai is so cute. And then the place.
She's adorable.
I love the moment where he's like, "It's quiet. I thought you liked quiet. Yeah, but not this quiet." And then this fucking missile just comes out of nowhere.
Layer by layer.
Just blows up the whole place.
And this is exactly
They
what we
hide
talked
under
about
the
last
strongest
week.
table ever.
Yes.
The whole tower
Jesus.
comes down on the table and they're
Not
fine.
from an IKEA. Not from IKEA.
No.
But this last week when we were doing Olympus Has Fallen, this is the same thing where he hears them through the wall. It's it's too quiet moment. I want that Sixth Sense. in real life.
Yeah.
How handy would that be?
I mean, how do they know? And what difference is in quietness?
By the way, I have a quick fact
Oh,
for
yeah,
you
please do.
about this scene. In the trailer, there is a clip where he deflects one of the
One of the missiles.
with like a T plate.
Yeah.
And Jason Statham asked him to take that out of the movie because the audience would not believe it. I wish
Everything else was
everything
believable.
else is fine.
Everything else is totally believable.
I wish that they would have kept that.
Okay, now it said take your time, no rush. We're getting
that's it.
We're getting mixed messages from the booth. It's okay. So now let's move on to where they go and they converse with the bad guys, where she tells them that basically there's 400 people in 2 containers, which sounds like a lot of people for two shipping containers. Not like Tupperware, but like a boat,
Like an 18-wheeler
Yeah,
like they have
yeah.
on there. Yeah.
So she goes there and she says her father's in there. She lies to Jason Statham. He goes and meets the bad guy, Wall Street, whatever his name is, and they have this great little tete-a-tete and stuff. And then you find out that her dad is actually the most overt Chinese bad guy in cinema history with the worst toupee.
The hair
And
is a crime.
Oh God, it's frightening enough.
Yeah.
But the first thing that happens is you realize just how PG-13 this movie is. When Wall Street says to Jason Statham, PG-13 bad guy, please.
Mr. Transporter, we can both agree. I answered your first question politely. I won't answer anymore. So I suggest you kill me right now and go screw yourself.
Go screw yours. Everything else sounds so badass, and then that last point just makes it so lame.
Yes.
And go screw yourself.
F off. I was when I was at home, I was expecting an Amazon package. To finally mention that, and the UPS guy came, and he came to my front door. And when the UPS guy comes, you're doing other things in the house, kind of bothers you, cooking dinner or something. I don't know, watching this movie, for example. And I open the door, and he goes, "Hey, Cameron." And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Are you Cameron Wolfschlager?" And I go,
and go screw yourself.
the full thing.
Oh, the full thing.
Mr. Transporter.
Oh.
We can both agree. I answered your first question politely. I won't answer anymore.
Don't like saying my last name.
So I suggest you kill me right now.
Wow. You up the
And
ante
go screw
fast.
yourself.
Here's the thing. I hate spelling my actual last name. There's a lot at stake.
Yeah.
Kill me.
Kill me right now. And I like that you tied it back to the transporter, transporting your Amazon package.
There it is, Ben.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a go screw yourself joke. I don't have a good one. So rather than just let a fart of a joke happen right now, I'm going to move on from that and get to the, plus yours was so good. The overtly bad acting bad guy, the overt bad guy that comes in as her father.
Yes.
His monologue may be even better than the go screw yourself monologue. So let's play that now.
Stop what you are doing.
I do what I do. I am who I am. I'll never change. So if you're going to kill me, kill me. But if you don't, get this gun out of my face.
The way he says that is so funny. Get this gun out of my face.
Get this gun out of my face.
I don't know why. It just sounds very much like Joan Rivers or something. It sounds very like, get this gun out of my face. It's so weird. And now, mind you, this is the same scene. So both bad guys we've just been introduced to, more extended. Well, we met the other guy before, but we get a more extended look at him. And both of them in the same scene go, you better just kill me. It's like, what? Do they really just have no regard for what these people are capable of? Or are they got fucking stones like nobody else, you know?
I think it's a little bit of both.
It just seems like an empty thing to say.
Also,
like, doesn't
in
have
the
any
context of being like in a normal office space.
Yeah.
This office that they're in when they're having this conversation.
A lot of windows.
There's a lot of windows, and it's pretty small. It's like, okay, this guy helps run a mid-level paper company. Yeah. And instead,
it's like Dwight Schrute is the one who's like doing this whole 400 Chinese slave thing.
It's really weird.
Super
the room
strange.
is so tiny, and there's like file cabinets, and they're going through file cabinets.
What is this place?
I have no idea.
But his monologue is so, I am who I am, and I'm not going to change. It's like so much exposition in 10 seconds. And just there's no subtlety to his character. Not that there's anything subtle about this movie at all.
But of everybody in the movie,
he's the least subtle.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, can we play that one more time? Because it is so good.
Stop what you are doing.
I do what I do. I am who I am. I'll never change. So if you're going to kill me, kill me. But if you don't, get this gun out of my face.
Get this gun out of my face. My God.
I feel like that could be like a hook for a rap song or something. Like, get this gun out of my face.
Get this gun out of my face. That's how
Oh,
I say that at the dentist, actually, when they bring
get this gun out of my
that
face.
squirter.
Get this gun out of my face.
Yeah.
Oh my God damn it.
Get this gun out of my face.
There it is.
There we go.
Remix.
There we go. There we go.
No more.
Oh, God. I can't even listen to that clip anymore. Oh, man. It is.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, here we go.
All right, here we go.
Yo.
You got to get this
Yo,
out.
get your 9 out. Get your 9 out. Get your haters out. Pull
Get
them
this gun
guns.
out of my face.
Okay.
Get this gun out of my face.
All right, never mind. Forget what
Sorry.
all I said. Put your
Sorry.
guns
Get this gun out of my
Okay,
face.
we'll put our guns away. Put our guns away.
Get this gun out of my face.
I already said I would.
Go screw yourself.
All right, okay. Now you're just messing up my whole beat, man.
Oh, man.
That's my whole song was about haters and guns. What am I gonna say now?
I don't know. Maybe something about packages? That sounds appropriate,
I feel
right?
I just want every episode for there to be a rap
Underneath the whole thing.
just underneath every sound clip. So good. Get this gun out of my face.
Get this gun out of my face.
Oh my God. So then that happens. So he gets, then the cops show up right before he gets killed.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, this guy was gonna kidnap her. Ooh, everything's bad. And then the inspector goes, well, this is how we are going to get out of this. You are going to be able to take care of this. Then he holds the inspector hostage, gets out, and then begins the greatest it's 30 minutes. A
lot of shit goes
The last
down.
30 minutes is like we talked about this, the planes, trains, and automobiles of action movies. Because he gets every mode of transportation. He starts on a boat. He goes on the boat, and then from the boat, he goes to the shipyard.
Where he pulls out a stethoscope.
Starts that he got from the
Yes.
pharmacy.
Yes.
And he's listening, can't find him. Then he sees that they're all going off. He shoots one guy. Apparently, he planned everything but a silencer because it's super loud. And then
Very
everybody
loud.
comes. He fights a bunch of dudes in the shipyard. Has this awesome sequence where he's slamming the door on the one guy. He does a split kick to the others. He does the greatest punch ever. Because Jason Statham has to, for the ladies, his shirt has to come off.
Oh, 100%.
And then he's shirtless the rest of the movie. And it's just like double punch. And then he ends up running along and jumping on top of the shipping container. Then
It's a good jump.
Then while that truck is moving, jumping off of that onto another bus off of a bridge
That one,
without even rolling an ankle.
that one would be tough. I've
would
tried
die.
that before.
And then somehow the bad guys, even though they're all in a caravan, immediately teleport and show up in the bus station where the bus driver just disappears. He doesn't notice any of it. There's not even, I wish they had that, like the 90s innocent bystander that's like, what
like,
the hell? What the hell's going on here? I don't know
Yeah.
why he sounds like Hank from King of the Hill. Hey, what the hell?
God damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby. So then, anyways, then the bus
Good
sequence.
impression.
God damn it, Bobby. Get your kids off my lawn. I don't know what else he says. But that's the only impression I'm good at. So then the bus fight is so good. When there's like...
Where did he get the pipes at? How many buses do you know just have fucking pipes laying all over
metal
the place?
pipes. It's not like they knocked off the railings, the like handbars.
pick
They're just
them
like...
up.
12 dudes show up in a bus. They didn't bring... Why didn't they just bring... It's like they were like, oh, fuck. We already shot the establishing
let's
shot.
go get him. Oh,
They needed
damn.
pipes. Just set him on the ground. Yeah. Ha! We all found pipes. And then he beats the shit out of him, and he's flinging in and out of this very tight... It's some of the coolest choreography
It's
in the
really
movie.
good. Yeah.
It's really fun. He's stabbing guys in the leg because he doesn't kill. He even brings it up to the guy's neck, and then he turns it and hits him with the butt of it.
Yeah.
And it's just such a fun sequence that then leads to the oil slick party. Holy shit. It's awesome.
This is my favorite thing ever.
It's awesome.
I really love the oil slick.
Because he dumps it all over himself, and then he's laying in the middle of it, and everybody can't get a hold of him. And like we said in the beginning, it's like, just like, oh, that's a horrible sound. Ugh, that's going to haunt my dreams and nightmares. And then we talked about the bike pedals. It's so amazing. He hops on that, kind of prances across in a badass way.
Would he not slip?
I feel like you'd still slip. because it's bike pedals.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Though.
I'm okay with it. That maybe there was rubber underneath and we didn't notice. So it's like
Actually, you're probably right.
grounded.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
Yeah.
non-stick.
It's
non-slip.
more of
God, stop making that noise. And then I love that sequence. He kicks the shit out of the big dude, and then there's a line of guys, and there's just a circle of dudes, and he just roundhouse kicks, and none of them duck. No. Like the fifth guy had 4 other guys to see that a roundhouse kick is probably in his near future, and he's still like, oh shit, all right, he's gonna change it up, so I'm just gonna be ready for if he does this instead. I'm gonna be ready. Nope.
Not ready for the feet.
Ah, shit, I wasn't ready for the thing he's done 4 other times. And he's not even that fast that they couldn't move. Oh, I love it.
My favorite thing about these type of movies is
my favorite.
all of the bad guys, the cronies
that are terrible at their jobs.
Run up. There's like 25 of them and just stand there. They're like,
okay.
What is he gonna do?
No, it's like it's everybody's first day on the job. They're like, oh, fuck, I knew this was gonna happen, but I didn't think today.
Right when they stamp in, Greg.
All right, there's a guy shirtless rolling around in oil. Can you go kill him? What?
Just go do it.
It's so amazing. And then when he slides across the oil and they're shooting machine guns at him and none of them can hit. None of them think to aim just a little further ahead.
First day on the job.
Just, God.
Hit him. Spraying all over
There's
the
a lot
place.
more kickback to this gun than I was thinking. And then he grabs the big dude and uses him as a human shield. That guy gets obliterated.
Dude.
And then a human shield down into the water. They blow up an oil barrel. And then he uses him for oxygen, which I thought was really smart.
That was probably, that's a very forward thing to do for 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
I'm
progressive.
sure there were people in the audience who were like, man, this movie's cool until that part.
God damn it, Bobby.
Yeah, God damn it, Bobby. I don't understand this. Anyways, so then he goes and he's in the shittiest little Yugo type car ever.
Yeah.
That breaks down.
The modern day Honda Fit.
That breaks down, and you find out immediately, like just so serendipitously, a crop dusting plane. By the way, he's running, and it's crop dusting chemicals, and he's just running through it. I'm pretty sure that's really unhealthy.
How far away from the plane was he when he saw it?
Very far.
Yeah.
He's running almost as fast as the plane.
Sprinting towards it.
He hijacks the plane in a nice way.
Yeah.
Gets dropped off.
Pardon me, sir.
Parachutes out of it. Lands on top of the semi.
What happens to the plane?
The guy's flying it.
Ugh.
The guy, he didn't hijack it. He was like, hey, I need a ride. I'm going to put a gun in
him
just
ditching the plane.
Fuck it. Peace.
Hits all the 400 people in the containers. Oh, fuck.
Ah, damn it. That was not... Get this gun out of my face. So then he's on top of the semi-truck, and there's all these sequences where they try and get him off of it, and he swings in and fights and kicks the Wall Street dude, where the greatest bad guy scream in modern day history happens. He's choking him out with his feet. Statham is choking out the main bad guy, hanging on through the crashed windshield.
Yeah, through the windshield.
Choking him out after they've already had one fight in the driver's seat, while Statham is slamming him back and driving with his feet. It's incredible.
I love the right when about that first time that happened, when he removes the door, and poor fella,
that guy
who's letting the door down the street,
and then when it cuts to him flying off the ledge, it's clearly a dummy. It's like,
oh
whoa.
my god, it's so good.
Oh, it's amazing. Then, so the bad guy scream happens, and it's one of my favorites. Can we play the bad guy scream? That's the best, though. The best is the end where it sounds like a raptor attacks. That's the best part. It's like it goes on forever, and then it goes.
I hate right here. IMDb trivia. Jurassic World. They found that clip and slowed it down for the raptor.
That's one of my favorite screams in history.
That's every time I get a cavity filled. It's just.
Wait for it, bad guys. Oh, there we go. That's the best. That's the greatest.
God.
Oh, that's the best. Oh man.
I love it.
Oh man. This is a true story actually. I was roller skating this weekend at a friend's roller skating birthday party, and it was one of those things where I was like, I'm gonna go out one more time And I was like, and I made the joke, this is where I'll sprain my ankle, right, guys? That didn't happen, but a gentleman that was going really fast by me, he fell, God's honest truth, he fell and almost lost it, and he braced himself by accidentally grabbing my right nut. Not the whole thing, just the right one.
Are you serious? And
like grabbed on and pulled. And on the roller skating rink, I'm like, and then the guy made this sound when he hit the wall. Aside from the scream, that all really happened, and it was just the right nut. God. I don't know how he targeted it, but it was like grab, like pinch and pull. I'm like, how were you like grabbing and then you went to a claw? And I came back hobbling to everybody, and they're like, what the hell's wrong? I'm like, some dude just almost ripped my right testicle off. How do you top that,
God,
ladies and gentlemen?
It's so good.
Well, hey, I think that's a good place to end on my right testicle.
Nut. He was a bastard, but he was my right nut.
When I found out he was still there, I was very excited, and I just looked down and I said, hi. So, we've been talking the Transporter this week. Next week, should we tell them what we're going to do? You do the honors, because we've been talking about it.
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters.
The Witch Hunters.
It has been a heavily requested movie, and I saw it in theaters, and I loved it. So we're going to do Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters next week.
Yeah. That's right.
It's ridiculous, and we love it.
That's right.
We've been doing the Transporter this week. Make sure to comment. Tell us more suggestions. Follow us at Guilty Movie Guys.
Oh, yeah.
Do some suggestions on there. Send us photos of your favorite Guilty Movie pleasures. Send us your thoughts on the Transporter. What's your favorite Transporter movie? Has anyone actually seen the fourth one or the TV series? Is it worth watching? Probably not, but just let us know. And any other kind of ridiculousness you want to send our way, we always welcome that. At Guilty Movie Guys. Where can they find you, Cameron?
At The Only Camshaft, Twitter and Instagram.
Yep.
How about you, Ben?
I'm at the Ben Begley. And also, like I mentioned before, the movie The Funhouse Massacre that my wife, Renee Dorian, and I wrote. It's coming out June 7th on DVD and video on demand. You can follow it at Funhouse Mass. There's a character limit, so I've said this before. It just sounds like it's a carnival happening at a church on a Sunday. But no, it's at Funhouse Mass. You can follow it there. All the information. There's a 30-second trailer up and all that stuff, and a full trailer online. Pre-order it. That'd be awesome. I would really appreciate it. Yeah. And until next time, we've all been Guilty Movie Guys. And what is your guilty movie pleasure? We've all.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Christian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.